Best English Jokes, страница 49. A man was going on a business trip by plane. "Hi, my name is Gertrude," said the lady next to him on the plane. "It's so nice to meet you. I'm flying to New York for my grandson's 3rd birthday. I remember when he was just a baby, and now he's already 3. It's really hard to believe he's the sweetest thing you've ever seen. You know what? Hold on, I think I might have a picture on me. Let me take a look in my bag. Yes, here it is. Just look at him. Isn't he sweet? Do you see his big blue eyes? Simply sweet. I could look at his picture all day. Oh my, and you should hear him on the phone when he says to me Hi Grandma, there are tears in my eyes. After what seemed like 2 hours for the poor man sitting next to her, Gertrude seemed to realize that maybe she was talking too much. You know, I feel terrible. Here I'm just talking and talking without letting you say a word. Tell me, what do you think about my grandson? A Chinese walks into a bar with a big parrot on his shoulder. "Wow," says the barman, "where did you get that from?" "From China," answers the parrot. "There are many of them there." Iris was a long-distance truck driver. She decided to buy a dog for protection for the long days and nights that she was away from home. As she looked at a candidate she liked, the salesman told her, "I must warn you that he doesn't like men." Perfect, Iris thought, and bought the dog. Some time later, as she was leaving a cafe, 2 men came up to her in the car park, and Iris watched to see how her new bodyguard would react. It soon became clear that the salesman hadn't been joking, because as the man got closer, the dog ran under the nearest car and hid. A young man was sent away to college. He often called his parents asking for money. One time when he called, his father answered, "Sure, we will send you money," he said. "And I also noticed that you left your physics book here. Should we send that also?" Yeah, okay," the son replied. The mother of that young man asked your husband later how much he sent up. "It's $1,100, he said. When she gave him a surprised look, he explained, "Don't worry, there is a 100 check on the cover of the physics book and the other 1,000 check inside the cover." 2 men, one old, one young, are walking around a big supermarket when they run into one another. The old man says to the young man, "Sorry about that. I'm looking for my wife, and I guess I wasn't paying attention to where I was going." The young man says, "That's okay. It's strange, but I'm looking for my wife too. I can't find her, and I'm starting to worry." The old man says, "Well, maybe I can help you find her. What does she look like?" "Well, she's 27 years old, tall, with red hair, blue eyes, long legs, and is wearing a white blouse with a short skirt. What does your wife look like?" The old man replies, "It doesn't matter. Let's look for yours." Fred feared his wife Rhonda wasn't hearing as before, and he thought she might need help. Not quite sure how to speak to her about it, he called the family doctor to talk about the problem. The doctor told him there is a simple, informal test their husband could do to give the doctor more information about her hearing loss. "Here's what you do," said the doctor. "Stand about 5 meters away from her and in a normal speaking tone see if she hears you. If not, go to 4 meters, then 3 meters, and so on until you get a reply. That evening, the wife was in the kitchen cooking dinner, and he was in another room. He said to himself, I am about 5 meters away. Let's see what happens. Страница 51. Then, in a normal tone, he asks, Honey, what's for dinner? No reply. So the husband moved closer to the kitchen, about 4 meters from his wife, and repeated, Rhonda, what's for dinner? Still there was no reply. Next he moved even closer, so he was about 3 meters from his wife, and asked, Honey, what's for dinner? Again he gets no reply, so he walked up to the kitchen door about 3 meters away. Honey, what's for dinner? Again there is no reply, so he walked into the kitchen closer to her. Rhonda, what's for dinner? For the 5th time fried chicken. As part of his job as a preschool teacher, a young man had to help the children put on their coats and boots. One day, when school was over and the children were getting ready to leave, one child came over to him in tears. I can't find my boots, she cried. There, in the corner, the young man said, showing her the boots. Those are not mine, she said. Mine had snow on them. A homeless man knocks on a woman's door. Can you give me a little money or maybe some food? The woman thinks to herself for a few seconds and says, You could do some work around here. I'll give you $30 if you paint my porch. There's some green paint and a brush right around the corner there. He thanks her and takes the paint and the brush. She returns inside and resumes her reading. After about an hour, she gets up to see if the work is done. She sees no man and the porch hasn't been touched. Just then she hears knocking again at her door. Страница 52. Sing I dog. Собака-поводырь. She is greeted by the same man. Green paint is on his clothes. A white smile is on his face. Everything is done, ma'am, but your car is a Cadillac, not a Porsche. 2 men, Jim and John, were walking their dogs when they passed by a restaurant. Let's go in and get something to eat, Jim offered. We can't, replied John. Don't you see the sign says no pets allowed? At that sign, said Jim, don't worry about it. And taking out a pair of sunglasses, he walked up to the door. As he tried walking into the restaurant, he was stopped at the door. Sorry, no pets allowed. Can't you see, said Jim, I'm blind, and this is my seeing eye dog. But it's a Doberman Pinscher. Who uses a Doberman Pinscher as a seeing eye dog? The man asked. Ah, Jim answered, you must have not heard. This is the latest type of seeing eye dog. They are very good at it. Seeing that it worked, John tried walking in with his Chihuahua. Even before he could open his mouth, the doorman said, Don't tell me that a Chihuahua is the latest type of a seeing eye dog. Thinking quickly, John replied in an angry voice, You mean they gave me a Chihuahua? The boss of a small company was complaining during a meeting that people didn't respect him enough. Trying to change it, he came in the next day with a sign for his door. It said, I'm the boss. One of the employees clearly did not like the sign. He wrote a small note and posted it under the sign. It said, Your wife wants your sign back.